will say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight,
o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming.
and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see we rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
It's the Falcon Graphix Tuesday Night Lights Micro Sprint Series. Get ready for action!
All right, hello and welcome. It is Tuesday night. We are getting ready to go racing here under the lights at Kokomo Speedway with some of the best micro sprint racers we could find. Right now, we are getting ready to wrap up our practice session here. They got about 5 minutes remaining, but these guys have been out on track on and off for the last about 25 minutes or so, putting down the best laps they can. Right now, this young man, this is going to be the first time we're seeing him here this season in that 64 machine. Hunter Wellman wanted to commit to these cars, but other commitments has kept him away from us until tonight. Here he is out in practice right now and showing these boys how it is done. 0.3 of a second faster than current points leader Michael Steele. Man, that Hunter, he's found something with these cars and he is showing them how it's done. Jason Smith, last week's winner out there, he is currently running fourth fastest in this practice session. We're going to have to keep an eye on him. He won last week at Millbridge. Hopefully he can keep that momentum up, but Michael Steele winning the first two races, had to miss last week due to some medical issues, but has gotten the okay to go racing once more here. Hopefully he's got everything behind him and is able to continue on with us here the remainder of the season, because he has a substantial point lead, even missing last week's event. Give me 1 second here. I am just short on that point, that actual statistic, but I'll see if I can pull her up for you. Yes, Michael Steele in the lead, 150 points, even missing last week over Mason Hayne with 144. Jason Smith currently third place in points. Another 3 points behind Hayne there in 100 with 141. Then we got Ray Andrews, 128 points. So a little bit of a jump back there, but Michael Steele is missing last week. See him on track right now. He is second fastest, but it's going to take a little bit to close that gap between him and Hunter Wellman. Ray Andrews there in that 420 machine sitting third fastest though. It's not often we see him that high up the leaderboard, but talking to him before the gates opened here tonight, it sounds like he's gotten himself situated a little bit better. We're going to see a little bit more of this 420 machine. Hopefully he's going to get himself to be more of a threat in the point standings. He's definitely showing a lot of speed here tonight here at Kokomo Speedway, so let's we're going to have to keep a very close eye on that 420 machine. A little bit further back in that pack, we got the 21 machine of Donnie Bartlett, currently 5th fastest on track. Best lap of 11.52. That's over half a second behind Hunter Wellman. Half second doesn't sound like much, but on a short dirt track like Kokomo, that's a pretty sizable gap. Then we got Dean Qualley, the lone Canadian in our field here, out on track in that bright green machine. Not a color we're normally accustomed to seeing on that 17 car. 6th fastest on the clock. An 11.72 as his best time around this this clay oval. But you know what? It's not always about how fast you are in practice. It's how fast you are in race conditions. You see these guys right now, they're out there all by themselves in this final minute practice time. Best chance they have to run whatever line they want, try to find the best amount of speed they can. But when you're mixed up in traffic, well, those lap times are going to slow down substantially. Hunter Wellman getting that last little bit of practice there. See if he can find a little bit more speed. We see he is favoring that bottom line. Getting her about a lane or so off that bottom, but you got to remember, you can't really see it here, but there is a little bit of a berm, and it's pretty much ends where he's putting that left front tire. You get any lower, any closer to those tires on the inside, and that car starts going up, it upsets the balance of the car, and it is definitely not going to handle very nicely as we wrap up our practice session here. Hunter Wellman still on that top spot. Michael Steele, Ray Andrews, the 3 fastest cars in our practice session. But now we are going to get ready for heat race number 1. And let's pull up our starting grid. 3 cars in this heat race on pole position. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a random draw. These guys will randomly get selected where they start in each heat race. Ray Andrews getting that lucky number 1 draw. And we'll be starting pole position. Jason Smith in that number 8 machine will be starting outside of him on the outside pole in row 1. 64, we saw this guy was the fastest in practice. He's going to have to work his way through traffic a little bit here to get to that lead. But Hunter Wellman bringing up the back of this field. Getting ready to go green flag racing here at Kokomo Speedway. Pace truck pulls off, field in the hands of that 420 machine of Ray Andrews. Catbird seat right there. If he can get a good start here, green flag in the air. Ray's got the preferred line down on the bottom. Clears Smith handily. Smith looking like he's just about catching a little bit of that berm. Ooh! Getting tight on that 420 machine. Getting around on the bottom line. Ray moves up. Just about crashes the 64 machine of Hunter Wellman. They keep it clean. They keep it green. Wellman working to try to find a way around Ray Andrews. Trying to take second place away. He does that time going into turn number 1. Let's hop on board here if we can with that 64 machine as he tries to reel in the leader, Jason Smith. See, he's getting down. You can see where that track raises up on that inside there. He is definitely getting up on that berm just a little bit, but he is making it work. Lap time is quite a bit faster than our leader last time around. 11.98 for our leader, Jason Smith. 11.36 for Hunter Wellman. But you hear just how high revving, how high pitched these cars are as they rip around this tiny little clay oval. But Hunter not able to get up on the... He's able to get to that back bumper, but not really able to do too much to get around our race leader, Jason Smith, right now. Jason doing a good job covering that bottom. Hunter looking to the outside down the front straightaway that time. Doesn't quite have it yet, but he's still there. Jason moving up, covering, or trying to cover that line a little bit. Trying to slow down as we go a white flag one more time around. Smith to the bottom. Hunter looking for grip anywhere he can find it. Falls back a little bit on our leader. Big dive into turn 3. It's not going to be enough. Jason Smith will win heat race number 1. Hunter Wellman bringing it up second place. Ray Andrews followed to the back there and finishing third after starting on that pole position. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting heat race number 2 gridded up. Getting ready to get racing here. 10 more laps heat racing. Heat race number 1, that will be our inside line for the starting line, or for the start for the feature race here. Heat race number 2 here will bring our starting lineup for the outside line, and on pole position, the lone Canadian in that green and black machine you see on the inside line, Dean Qualley in the number 17. Zach Wagner, this is the first time we're seeing him out this season. He's had some issues not being able to come out with us. Starting outside pole with that number 3 machine. On the back row here, row number 2, Donnie Bartlett bringing up the inside with that 21 car. Then we see a 2-time race winner, Michael Steele, bringing up the back of this pack. Pace truck pulling in. They are getting ready to go green flag racing here. 10 laps in heat race number 2. Green flag in the air. Good start by Qualley, good start by Bartlett, but he gets it over-rotated going into number 1. Michael Steele making big advantage on that. Slides past everybody, coming down into turn number 3. Takes the lead away. These guys are going to have their work cut out for them to try to keep up to that number 5 machine. We've seen him putting down some impressive pace those first 2 races. Does not look to be slowing down here in race number 4. Still the race with Michael Steele in the lead. Dean Qualley in second. Donnie Bartlett. These guys are spread out pretty solidly right now. Not much racing action going on right now. Halfway through this race, 5 laps to go, we see Michael Steele about to put Zach Wagner a lap down. Zach might have had some issues. In fact, yes, let's take a look here. See Zach Wagner here going into turn number 1, just over rotates and self spins, backs into the wall, but manages to keep the car going Fortunately, that's going to put him behind, put him a lap down to race leader Michael Steele. Dean Qualley now working his way around that number 3 machine, does so cleanly. Donnie Bartlett there right on his back bumper trying to get around as we got 2 laps remaining in heat race number 2. White flag in the air. Michael Steele, big lead over Dean Qualley. 3.3 seconds as a checkered flag flies. Michael Steele will win heat race number 2 and start on that outside pole. Dean Qualley finishing second. Donnie Bartlett bringing it home third, and Zach Wagner, after a self-spin there, unfortunate bit of luck for that number 3 machine, will be bringing up the back of the field here for the feature race. And ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves 3 minutes, one last chance for these guys to feel out how that track has changed since the last time they were on it. And then we will go 40 laps of green flag racing. Definitely want to give a big shout out to our sponsor of this season, Falcon Graphix. If you're in iRacing, you need a wrap done, contact Mick Olofsson at Falcon Graphix there, and he'd be more than happy to give you a hand. He puts out some pretty amazing iRacing wraps, so definitely check out Falcon Graphix. These guys get a couple of laps under their belt here. We're not seeing any change at that very top of the leaderboard. Hunter Wellman fastest overall. Michael Steele second fastest. The big change comes right here at third. Jason Smith, if I remember right, he was running 5th fastest in our initial practice session. Now he is the 3rd fastest car out there. Ray Andrews just jumping up into 4th place behind him. But lap times are much, much closer than what we saw in that initial practice. Hunter Wellman running 11:45, Michael Steele 11:54. Not a 3/10 of a second difference like we were seeing earlier, so we might have a bit of a racy race going on here as we see the 64 of Hunter Wellman getting turned around. Definitely need to keep an eye on this 64 car if he can make any more races this season, pending work schedule. He could be a threat. He's missed a couple races, got last place points issued to him for a couple of the races he's missed, so he's not necessarily out of the points running if he can get a few good races in. But right now, Michael Steele looking to expand that lead. Mason Haynes sitting second. Just 6 points behind Michael Steele, but Mason not showing up here tonight. That's definitely going to allow Michael to pull that gap over Haynes. In fact, we'll probably see Jason Smith move over second place here as our warm-up has come to a completion here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to go green flag racing here at Kokomo Speedway. Let's take a look at our starting lineup as these cars get ready to line up on the field here. Winning heat race number 1 gives him pole position to number 8, Jason Smith. On the outside, he won heat race number 2. He is our points leader. He's going to be the one to watch here, Michael Steele. Hunter Wellman in that 64 car starting into 3rd position inside of row number 2. Definitely going to be a car to watch. He is definitely quick. Starting outside of him, though, is the 17 machine, Dean Qualley, our lone Canadian. Inside row number 3, we got the 420 machine of Ray Andrews. Sounds like we're going to be seeing a lot more of that 420 car. Outside of him, the 21 machine, Donnie Bartlett. Bringing up the back of this field after an issue in his heat race, Zach Wagner. As the pace truck pulls off, we are getting ready to go green flag race, and Jason Smith leading them through turns 3 and 4. These guys are going to slow down and wait for the green flag to fly. There it is. Good start on that inside line there. Jason Smith pulling away from Steele. So does Hunter Wellman. Steele looking to the inside though. He is, oh! Steele getting too much of that inside. Catches the infield tire. Spins that car. Looks like he has caused terminal damage to that car. That is going to be an unfortunate start to this race. That car does not look like it wants to turn. Hunter Wellman, though, looking to take that lead away from Jason Smith. 3 wide here. That is Zach Wagner all of a sudden at the back of the pack here. But right now, the battle for the lead. Jason Smith holding on to it as we see them lap around Michael Steele. Michael caught that. Ooh, we see Jason catching that infield tractor tire a little bit. That tire is going to catch a few names out here so far. And we're only 5 laps into tonight's race. Looking back here in all this melee, Donnie Bartlett quietly sneaking up into 3rd position. Ray Andrews holding on to 4th. He's a short distance behind Donnie, but still not out of striking distance. But Wellman taking over the lead at the front as they go around the 17 machine of Dean Qualley. At least they try to. Dean's not making it easy, fighting hard on that outside line. Finally we see the 64 clear him. Can Jason get him on the outside? No, not quite. Got a slow car ahead of them. I believe that is Donnie Bartlett in that 21 machine. Hunter and Jason working hard to put the entire field a lap down early here. In fact, it looks like Donnie may have had some issues that led to him coming back here, but Hunter Wellman around him. Now Jason Smith working to try to get past that 21 machine there, as Hunter Wellman now looks to put Zach Wagner another lap down. Zach having some issues. He seems to be pretty committed to staying on that top line, staying out of the way here. Not trying to affect the leader's race at all. Smart move on his part. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we've only got 3 cars on the lead lap. Hunter Wellman in first. Jason Smith a second, just over a second behind. Then we got Ray Andrews 7 seconds after that. Not a lot going on here so far. 23 laps to go. Hunter Wellman in the lead. We knew that car was going to be quick. It was going to be hard to beat. He's proven it. Almost have to believe that second place Jason Smith might have tweaked that car a little bit when he caught that infield tire. They can do that. They are undefeated in destroying race cars here. Ray Andrews about 9 seconds behind our leader, having to try to work his way around that 5 car. Michael Steele, Dean Qualley just ahead of the 5. In fact, Michael Steele is going to move around that 17 machine. That will be for... Oh, no, never mind. That will not be for position. Michael Steele a couple laps down here. I do believe Michael went to pits to finally get some damage repaired. See Dean getting to that outside line there and kind of slipping up a little bit. That allows Donnie Bartlett, Ray Andrews to work him on the inside. But look at who is catching up to this group here. Hunter Wellman, our race leader, taking task to Dean Qualley one more time. Going to put Dean 2 laps down and going to set his sights on that 420 machine of Ray Andrews. If Hunter can get there, can put that 420 car a lap down, there's only going to be 2 cars on the lead lap. Ray doing everything he can to keep that 64 machine behind him, but he knows that 64 car is super, super fast. In fact, right there you see Ray do the smart move. He lets that 64 car go around. Knows there's little for him to gain by blocking that machine, but a lot to lose. Ray sitting comfortably in 3rd position. But Hunter, the class of the field, 4.5 seconds in the lead over Jason Smith. Jason about 8 seconds ahead of Ray Andrews. Right now, barring extreme circumstances, I think we can set this top 3 in stone. Then we got Donnie Bartlett here running in 4th ahead of Dean Qualley. Dean 6 seconds behind Donnie. But Dean might have to keep an eye. Well, if these cars had rear view mirrors, keep an eye in that rear view mirror. Luckily, these guys do have a virtual mirror. Michael Steele, 9 seconds behind and closing on Dean Qualley, but Michael running out of time to close that gap. 9 laps to go, coming to 8 as Hunter Wellman comes out at turn number 4. It does appear that Zach Wagner has pulled into pits. He was not having a very solid night of it out there here with these micro-winged Outlaw sprints. These cars, they're twitchy little things. They're very light, not huge high horsepower, but for the weight of the machines, it is enough. As we see Hunter Wellman going to task, put Donnie Bartlett 2 laps down. Not quite able to do it there. In fact, it looks like Hunter Wellman's got the 5 car Michael Steele kind of reeling him in, trying to get one of his laps back. 5 laps to go. Ooh, Steele with a big slider, tries to catch up to Wellman, has to let Bartlett go back around. There was not a lot of room between those 2 machines for that 5 car to slide through, but he found it somewhere. 3 to go for Hunter Wellman here. Right now, Michael Steele trying to catch up, trying to get around that 64 machine, get a lap back. But that 64 now having no pressure behind him is able to open that gap up just a little bit while Michael Steele tries to keep Donnie behind him. Ray Andrews, meanwhile, white flag in the air, sitting comfortably in 3rd. Hunter Wellman, though, uncontested pretty much the entire race. Started 3rd position, took no time getting to that lead, and will take the checkered flag. As Jason Smith, looks like we got a car turned around coming out of turn number 3. Jason Smith coming home 2nd place. Ray Andrews bringing that car home in 3rd. Let's take a look. It appears that Michael Steele had some issues there in those final laps. See if we can see what happened here. You can see he was trying everything he could to try to get a lap back, catches that outside wall, and that car just goes for a ballerina dance down into turn number 1, losing all its wings. These cars are super sensitive to wheel contact, and they will go for a flight, as we just witnessed there with Michael Steele. Unfortunate end to that car, or to that race for him. But ladies and gentlemen, we got the top 3 lining up on pit road here as we get ready to take our final interview here and see what these guys got to say about this race. In fact, we have our 3rd place finisher, Mr. Ray the Unk Andrews. Ray, you brought that car home 3rd. Look at you go. Well, we know we had some strong competitors in that field. Hunter was a class of the field tonight. Smith didn't look all that strong in practice, but he found something in that car a little later on. I think the biggest surprise is Michael Steele there. He hit that tractor tire on that infield pretty early in the race, and that tractor tire, you don't win against it, do you? Well, you did well enough to get a third place finish there, and you got a bit of a shout out there. I believe you mentioned to me earlier that you're going to have a special viewer, and you definitely got that special viewer, and they're giving you some love in the chat and the broadcast. Well, you definitely showed here, Ray. You gave everything that car had. You showed some pretty solid speed in practice, and you kept that speed up throughout the entire way through the main race here. So, third place, you can't complain about that. I'm sure you got a few other shout-outs you want to give to help you, or that helped you out get there.
Hopefully we get some more of these interviews here soon.
Well, if you make it out to more races like you say you're going to be, I got a feeling we're going to see more if you can keep that speed up.
I appreciate it, Tom, and thank you and everybody that goes or puts on EFRL. I want to give you guys a big shout out for giving everybody a chance to watch and everything.
Well, congratulations on third place, Ray, and I hope you're joining us for the mini stocks here later.
Yes, sir. I'll be running mini stocks and everything else that I can here this week.
Alrighty. See you later then, Ray.
Thank you, sir.
Alright, well, you know what? This man gave it all he had, but just came up that little bit short trying to find that little bit extra speed there. What do we have to do to slow that 64 down there? Because he was the class of the field tonight, Jason.
I don't think there was much of anything. I just had to be a better driver. I blamed my loss of ground on him at first, on nearly smoking the tractor tire in turn 1 and 2. But come to find out, he was just gone either way. It did not matter what I did. I was very loose out of the corners, very loose going in, too much on the throttle, not enough on the throttle, so on and so forth. I sucked. That's the bottom line.
Well, I don't know that I'd say you sucked. You know, we had a fairly stacked field, and we could definitely see the pressure in the opening laps. You know, Michael Steele dove it hard to the inside trying to make ground. He made contact with that infield tractor tire, kind of ended his race. I do believe we saw you make some light contact with it at one point as well, but you got away with it.
I shockingly never actually touched it, but that screw up is what what ended up being the closest call, surprisingly enough.
Well, we definitely
I get really close to those.
We definitely saw that bottom line there being the dominant line the entire way around. What would have been more laps, more cars? What do you think it would have made to get a second line going here?
I mean, overall, I think Hunter made the center work really well. He widened the track out and was just kind of... I was trying a little bit of practice, too, to try to hierarch the corners coming off the straightaways, but it was... I don't know if it was really slick enough then. I tried a little bit at the end of the race and felt better. It was just a matter of kind of rolling into the slick and getting out a little better, but around the bottom, it was just more of a... if you could roll it, you were fast. Maybe second half of the race, not so much. But it was just, it was really momentum more than anything. I don't know if the lanes were playing too much of a factor.
Well, and that's just it. You know, we only had 7 cars out there, and at the end, only really 3 of you guys were relatively competitive. So the speed of the car, a lot of people don't think about it, but the speed of the car does affect how much rubber goes down and does affect how much that track changes. So with 3 of you guys only really running the top lap times, that slows down the rate of changes in that track.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it felt pretty good. At least it wasn't a rough, bumpy mess like the track normally is in any other series I've raced in there. But, I mean, it seemed like it could have been a little more racy if we had a higher car count, I guess. But, yeah, I think it's just a matter of who was hitting right and who wasn't more than anything.
Well, and I think, next week we give that 64 car a lap down challenge.
Don't worry about that. I'll just pit maneuver him in the first corner.
All right. Well, Jason, I'm sure you got a few names on that car you want to give a shout out to there for helping you out.
Yeah, J&J Virtual Motorsports, Wellman Sim Racing, Ohio Valley Sim Sports, and Mystic Creations.
Alrighty, well, congratulations on second place, Jason, and this is definitely going to move you up in the point standings there. I did the points from last week earlier. You were 3 points out of second, and about seven or 9 out of first. So this is definitely going to close that gap a little bit for you.
And good to know Hunter missed so many races, so he couldn't take that over at all. But yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to have the lead at least once, I guess.
Alrighty, well, congratulations on second once again, Jason, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again a time or two this season.
Heck yeah, thank you, Tom.
Alright, well, the man of the hour, he was complaining in conversations we had off track that he hasn't been able to make one of these races, that he was really looking forward to this series, and I guess we kind of saw why here tonight. Hunter Wellman bringing that 64 machine home in first place after putting on, you can't even call that a schooling anymore. That was just a straight up butt whooping.
It has been a long time coming. I have really missed this league. How are you doing tonight?
Well, I didn't really have a whole heck of a lot to talk about there. You guys got so spread out throughout that race that I just kind of had to flip through and hope, someone caused a caution and bunch you up, but that never happened.
After the first few laps, it really became a game of consistency, honestly, just setting the same time lap after lap. If you were in the driver's booth with me and the other guys, I was complaining an awful lot. I was getting tired at the end. I wish there was some kind of way I could show you my inputs. I was turning the wheel maybe 20 times a corner, just trying to get it to hit perfectly every time. It was a really finicky track tonight.
Well, it definitely didn't look like it from our side because, like I said, you just opened that can of butt whooping and showed that, just poured it over the entire field. In practice, 0.3 of a second faster than second place Michael Steele, which, like I told our viewers, 0.3 of a second doesn't really sound like a lot until you realize that we're in a sport, we're fighting for thousands.
Oh yeah, it's practice is a little weird of a metric because different guys go on at different points, but the 0.3 in a couple of laps, that's a gap of 2 or more seconds, so it really is a game of thousandths of an inch, thousandths of a second, just lap after lap. A lot of people call sprint car racing fighter jets in the gymnasium, and these micro sprints are pretty much a half-scale fighter jet in a gymnasium. They're really fast, they're really quick. You have to be up on the wheel on them.
Oh, absolutely. And, I did a couple of practice laps there before we went live, and I wasn't setting times anywhere close to what you guys could. And yeah, these things they're twitchy, they're so hard to get just set just right. And well, you made it look easy out there tonight.
It really is a lot of it comes down to seat time, honestly. I have 200 to 300 races in these on officials, 50 to 60 wins. I'm a Division 4 champion on iRacing official records, so I just race these day in, day out, just trying to perfect my line every single time.
Well, and we saw that there tonight. There, Michael Steele came out. He won both races to start the season. had to miss last week, but he was able to come back out here, and we saw that desperation early in the race with him. He knew he had to keep with you, made a fatal mistake for his race. I'm kind of interested to see what would happen if he could stay up there with you.
Yeah, I love racing with Michael. He's been a good friend to me on track and off track. He's I felt bad for him lately. It's been good to race with him. I've missed all of you guys really, and I don't think I've made a race since the dirt late model and asphalt late models were still in action. So no, it is really good to be back. It's really good to race with guys like Michael and Jason and Dean, you. It, it's a lot of fun.
Well, and I was talking in the broadcast there that you had a few had to miss the first few races because of other commitments, work commitments. You couldn't be here. I really hope you can make a few more races because you're definitely going to make the series more interesting. And you're in a deficit of points, but if you can come out and win a few races, that deficit might not be so small.
Would love to race the rest of these. Just I am at the mercy of some other commitments right now. I am unfortunately getting older. I have much less time now to race series like this on a Tuesday night, but and I'm really thankful I got the chance to tonight, and I tried to make the most of it.
All right. Well, Hunter, I'm sure you got a few names on that race car of yours to give a shout out to.
And I'm gonna need a pen and paper. It's gonna be a long one. So a couple of months ago, I started my own sim racing team, Wellman Sim Racing, with the drivers Hunter Wellman, Tom Quiring, who you all know very well, Ray Andrews, Justin Walbring, and Jason Smith. And tonight we got a 1-2-3 finish. So I would like to thank all the guys that have helped me put this together and all of y'all for signing up. It really means a lot. I've always wanted to do something like this. I've been a part of a few teams in the past, and now it's my turn to man the ship. But having a 1-2-3 finish on the first night of us racing together is truly something special to accomplish. I would also like to thank RJB Automotive, Disabled American Veterans, Captured in Stone, Hairstyles with John, Buckeye, Wendy Baker, Hair Together, Mahoning County Career and Technical Center, and the Valley STEM Plus Me Too Academy. They all sponsor my team in real life, Wellman Racing, and we have had a few newcomers since the last time I've had an interview. So, a huge thank you to those guys trying to make my dream come true here in the summer.
Well, yeah, like you said, you needed a pen and paper, and I'm not sure where you're finding all the real estate on the race cars to put all those names.
My go kart will look like a checkerboard at the end of the season. Believe me.
All right, congratulations on the win, Hunter. I can't wait to race against you at Five Flags here in the mini stocks in a few short moments.
Thank you very much, and it is good to hear you are racing.
Oh, you won't. I won't miss this one. I was kind of looking forward to this race.
All right, that is good to hear.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that was our race winner, Hunter Wellman. As I said, he had to miss the first couple of races of this season due to prior commitments. Was really upset and bummed that he was not able. He was really looking forward to this season, and tonight he showed why. Came out, took that can of butt whoop, opened it up, and sprayed it liberally across the entire field. My God, did he show these guys what these cars can do. Came out, won that race in epic fashion. But ladies and gentlemen, that will bring us to a close tonight. I hope we will see you again next week. We will be live at, actually, it's time change for a lot of people next week, so the times may change, but people will be kept up. But we are racing at Lanier with the micro wing sprints. So hope to see you all there. I'm looking forward to that. And I really hope Wellman can come back and see if he can keep up that kind of dominance. I am Tom Quiring. It has been a pleasure calling this race. See you guys next week.